Cup. From now on, any slip could be fatal to the hopes of winning the competition. Argentina, in all blue here, met Uruguay in one of 8 second-round ties, all eagerly anticipated, with the prospect of a penalty shootout if the scores were level after extra time. This is how the second round shaped up. Belgium against the Soviet Union, Brazil against Poland, Mexico versus Bulgaria, Argentina and Uruguay, England and Paraguay, France versus Italy, West Germany against Morocco, and Denmark against Spain. It couldn't have started in a more splendid fashion. Belgium and the Soviet Union produced a World Cup tie of classic dimension. It was staged in Leon, and no one who saw it will ever forget it. On the face of it, it looked a stroll for the Soviets. They'd roared through their group matches while the Belgians struggled. They had been scoring almost at will while the Belgians had appeared barely willing to try a shot. In the Nuevo Campo Stadium in Leon, Belgium raised their game to match the Soviet Union for skill and endeavour. Igor Belanov had provided the Soviet Union with the first half lead, but in the second half Belgium hit back. It was tit-for-tat football, with Enzo Schifo equalising. A mistake in midfield by Kerlemans let Belgium down with 20 minutes to go. Belanov scored his second goal of this Mexican afternoon. Far from being downhearted, Belgium grew more determined. Kerlemans made up for his mistake by equalising 2-2. He looked suspiciously offside. The Swedish referee Erik Fredriksson had no doubts. The match ran on into extra time. At last, the Soviets began to pay a heavy price for their brilliant beginning to the tournament. Winning a World Cup requires a team to pace itself. Classic route to glory begins with a slow start. The Soviet team was not a machine. The clockwork was beginning to wind down. Extra time goals from Stefan de Mol and then Nico Klaassen lifted Belgium into the lead for the first time. At the other end, 9 minutes remained when Belanov completed his hat-trick with a penalty. Goalkeeper Pfaff was furious, but not for long. Belgium had reached the quarter-finals. Back in 1938, these two nations had shared a remarkable match, Brazil winning a first-round World Cup tie 6-5. Almost against the run of play, Brazil went ahead here. Careca pulled down, and Socrates, off just 2 steps, converted the penalty. Poland had missed the boat. Brazil dominated the second half, looking better and better as they claimed 3 more superb goals. The samba drums went on beating late into the night. Now but to attack, and Brazil cut them to ribbons. Careca ran from the halfway line, timed his back heel to perfection, and defender Edinho finished it off. Zico arrived as a substitute for Socrates in time to help increase the score. A goal of his own was on the cards until he was brought down by the despairing Młynarczyk. Careca converted the penalty. Poland were on their way home. Mexico welcomed back Hugo Sanchez, free from suspension, to lift them into the quarter-finals. Bulgaria made no secret of their intentions. At the kick-off, they belted the ball downfield, while each player ran to his predetermined tactical position. Mexico's midfield general, Manuel Negrete, knew just what to do. He used the wide-open spaces of midfield to turn the Bulgarian defence inside out. On top of that, he opened the scoring with a spectacular display of acrobatics. Negrete created the second Mexican goal with this corner, headed home by Raul Servin. Everyone was delighted to see the Mexicans reach the quarter-finals. Equally welcome was the sight of the negative Bulgarians going home. The nations of Argentina and Uruguay sit on opposite banks of the River Plate. They share only their language and a passion for football. Argentina v Uruguay is a South American England against Scotland. No quarter asked, none given. In this case, it was Diego Maradona who showed no mercy. He unleashed all his brilliant gifts. Uruguay had been warned by FIFA to be on their best behaviour. They were, so Maradona duly took them apart. Paraguay had never been this far in the World Cup before. The excitement was clearly too much for them. They harassed Syrian referee Al-Sharif throughout the match and were fortunate he didn't reach for the red card. If Paraguay had concentrated more on their football, they might have run England closer. Paraguay had their chances, but once England had gone in front, they never looked like losing. In the second half, with Gary Lineker momentarily off injured, England scored again. Goalkeeper Fernandez couldn't hold the first shot from Terry Butcher. Peter Beardsley was waiting to pounce. The Tottenham favourite had played only once in the 1982 World Cup. Now, after years of debate about his role with England, he wanted to make up for lost time. Hoddle's through pass wrong-footed the entire Paraguayan defence, and Lineker's second goal provided England with an unassailable 3-0 lead. Italy's reign as World Cup holders was almost over. History had been on their side. In 27 previous meetings, they'd lost to France on only 4 occasions. But this Italian team looked tired. France had more flair and style, and they had Michel Platini. Italy was so worried about Platini, they tended to forget the other French stars. Tigana and Fernandez, for example, were superb. Fernandez it was who set off the move, which ended with Platini clipping France ahead after 14 minutes. France held that lead until half-time and duly extended it 11 minutes after the interval. Tigana was the creator this time, and Yannick Stopira the scorer of a second goal, which ended Italy's 4-year reign on top of the world. No African team had ever reached the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Could Morocco go even further, or would the West German machine swallow them up? In fact, Morocco had taken the match to within 85 seconds of extra time when West Germany were awarded a free kick. The tired Moroccans, their concentration wavering, failed to organise their wall properly. Lothar Matthäus shot through the gap, and the Moroccan adventure was over. Querétaro and